Saram, everybody. So I also had a talk prepared, and then I got the theme. So this is going to be very informal. I'm just going to be talking to you and thinking out loud as I talk about, in terms of my personal perception of keeping a connection with Swami, especially now in his physical absence. So I'm going to start with a story. As most of you know, I went to Pittsburgh 2.5 years ago for school, and when I was out there, when I told my best friend when I was still here that, hey, I'm going to Pittsburgh, she was super excited for me, and then said, let's meet for dinner and let's celebrate. So we went to dinner, and we were very excited and talking about what was going to happen, and then suddenly halfway through the dinner, we burst into tears. And both of us were like, how are we going to live without each other? I love you, we'll miss you. And we were like a spectacle in the restaurant. And so we had grown up in the same town our entire lives. We were never more than 20 minutes away from each other. And so the thought of being 3,000 miles away from one another was very difficult. And so we thought, we're going to put a positive spin on this, and we're going to make a schedule. So we said, we're going to Skype once a week, I'm going to text you all the time, we're going to set aside Saturdays for 2-hour conversations, I'll call you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you call me Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, I'll come see you, you come see me, we meet in Chicago, we'll send each other care packages, everything. So to be honest with you, when I first went out there, at the beginning it was like that. And after a few months, it was nothing like that. Life got in the way. And we were both really worried about this putting a strain on our friendship. We were best friends, we'd been together forever. I could just drive over to her house before and have a meal with her. She could drive over to my house and we could get Taco Bell together. And we couldn't do that anymore. But when I came back from Pittsburgh, I realized that our friendship had grown so much. And we were actually closer than what we had been before I left for Pittsburgh. Because I realized finally that it wasn't the physical proximity that made us best friends, but it was our love for one another. And the fact that we had to look for different ways to stay connected. And so what I went through with my best friend is what I'm currently going through with Swami. When Swami left his physical form, it was very, very difficult for me. And to be honest with you, I'm still dealing with it. I haven't really wrapped my mind around it. I haven't wrapped my heart around it. But as time passes by, I realized that there's so many different ways to stay connected to Swami. The darshan was fantastic. Going out to Birthi was, don't get me wrong, magical. But now I realize that Swami has left us with so many different ways to connect with him, whether it be through bhajans or seva or meditation or being in nature, whatever it may be. We need to find what that connection is that works for us and really move with it. And so for me, it's always been in my car, ironically, when I'm driving, now that I'm back in LA and get to sit on the freeways 3 hours at a time. But listening to bhajans and really having that quiet time alone with Swami where I really get to internalize dialogue with him and get to talk to him and think about what's been going on. And for me, that keeps my connection going. My inner dialogue goes on throughout the day with Swami, but it's stuff like, Swami, I'm hungry, I want a cupcake. Swami, I'm tired. Swami, let's move. So it's really nice to finally be in the car and be able to just talk to Swami and have that internal dialogue with him. And for me, bhajans have always just been fabulous. So whenever I can go to bhajans and just sit and listen to other people sing and not me, it really keeps that connection strong with Swami. So I'm going to move into a corny metaphor that I was thinking about when I was driving over here. And I'm also going to pretty much tell you how old I am. So my first cell phone was one of those big flip phones. It was bulky and big, and it came in this cool little case that you clipped inside your bag. And so the only thing it really did was you could just make calls and get calls. And now everybody has one of these, which has so many ways of keeping in touch with people. We have WhatsApp and Facebook and Snapchat, and Cynthia's gonna have to help me with all the different cool things. There's phone calls, there's FaceTime, there's audio FaceTime. And so I guess what my point is again, there's so many different ways to connect with Swami. It's not just going to Birthi, which I think took me a really long time to realize, because I kept telling myself after Swami left his physical form, I'm never gonna have that darshan again. I'm never gonna be able to see him. I'm never gonna be able to sit in Birthi and have that. But that wasn't the only way to connect with Swami. And it really dawned on me just a little while ago when I was back in Birthi after Swami left his physical form, and I felt the same peace and the same love and everything that I used to feel before when he used to actually physically come out and give us darshan. And so what I want to leave you all with is just remember that we should find what our connection is and how we feel most devoted to Swami and use that to really keep that connection going. Just because his physical presence is gone doesn't mean that he's gone. And to go on my corny metaphor a little bit more, his love is like the Wi-Fi around us, but it's unlimited. So I'm going to end with a quote. And so you guys don't think I'm this horribly corny person, I'm going to end with a Swami quote.
And with the bhajan too.
Yeah, everyone will go running out of here. I am yours, whether you like me or not. You are mine, even if you hate me and keep away from me. I am in you, you are in me. There is no distance or distinction. My home is your heart. Sarah and everybody.